So I just turned 18 when I started the business, and I was a few months off turning 20 when I found out I was pregnant.
Oh my gosh, a curveball you were not expecting.
I was terrified. So I remember I took the test and I just burst out crying. It was so positive. So that's when I started growing my Maisie Crompton page on the side. I didn't really have mum friends at that point. So that was my outlet to talk to other mums.
I love that. And I feel like a lot of people do start Instagram in motherhood.
Now she's quite a good sleeper. And she goes to bed very early.
I was going to say, I heard you say that she goes to bed at 5:30 or something.
Yeah. And people, oh my goodness, people hate it.
Because they're jealous. Your bags are so great.
Thank you.
I mean, they're not meant to be like nappy bags, are they?
I wanted a handbag that looked lovely. It looked like a handbag, but was so practical. The same amount of practicalness as all of the changing bags that you can buy.
Which are really ugly and look like bags that hang on a buggy, don't they?
Yeah. So I was like, okay, let's create this.
Welcome back to the Dear Mum podcast, the no judgment group chat that every mum needs. Today on the podcast, I was lucky enough to talk to the amazing Maisie Crompton, who became a mum at 19. From setting up her business in her bedroom at 18 to becoming pregnant just a year later was not in her plans. But not only is she juggling the two incredibly, she is now absolutely thriving. We get into all of that and much more in today's conversation. But before we do, please don't forget to like, follow and subscribe wherever you get your podcast, because it really, really helps us. Maisie, thank you so much for coming on this podcast.
I'm so excited to be here.
It's so nice because I followed you for a while and we've never met in person, but it feels like I know a lot about you because you have such a lovely way of sharing your life online.
It's weird because when you meet people, you feel like you already know them, especially when you're used to following their journey, and then you're like, oh, actually.
But what's nice is that you're exactly the same. And most of the time I find that is the case, but sometimes you meet someone and you're like, oh, you don't come across like that online.
Yeah, you're a bit different.
I know.
I am just
I don't know how anyone has the energy to be different online. I'm I just turn on the camera and I'm like, here I am.
Yeah.
So before we get on with it, can you let me know your mum stats then?
Okay, so what is it we need?
Children, age, and how would you describe her?
Okay, I have one daughter. She's 3. And I describe her as the most loving child. She is so loving, so kind. Also, on the flip side, quite fiery, quite stubborn.
I feel like that's just 3, isn't it?
I know, but my mum's like, payback.
Oh, really?
You were like this, Maisie. Yeah, very just set in her ways. If she wants to do something, that's the way.
Has she always been like that?
Yeah. Pretty much. I think it might be a temperament thing.
It might be a girl thing because my boys weren't so much like that, but I've got a daughter and she's nearly 2 and my God, she wants to do what she wants to do.
They know what they want and I'm like, oh my God, this is such a good thing.
Yeah, it is good.
For when you're an adult.
But yeah, not in the supermarket or not when you're trying to get them dressed. You're like, I love this for you, but let's not have this now.
I'm like, I love this, but you cannot put this princess dress on for nursery. I'm not even too sure why not, but you just
I know, but sometimes
that
you find you're like, I'm fighting this battle so hard and I don't know why. Maybe I should just give in to this.
I'm like, do you know what? Yeah, just
wear it.
Yeah.
I find that. So at the moment, my 2 boys are 5 and 3 and they will not get dressed for love nor money, whereas Darcy is like, I will do it.
Yeah, she wants to do it herself.
Oh, yeah.
You're like, well, at least she's changed. The other 2
and I'm like, boys,
changed.
Look at her. She's like, whether she struggles or not, she will do it. So I have got a couple of mum WhatsApp groups that I literally rely on every single day. Do you have one, a couple?
I have a few. I have a few different ones. I have my social media one.
Yeah.
Then I have my, you can't say normal mum friends, but my friends.
Not on the internet friends.
Yeah, not on the internet friends. So, and I feel like they're both very different. But
so you know what to go to for which thing.
Yeah.
And what's something that you last messaged a WhatsApp group?
I think I was literally telling them that I'm going to get Elsie a haircut today. But I'm like, how do I distract her?
Yeah, they're all like, good luck, good luck.
Yeah, they're all
Is it her first one?
Just give her biscuits. She's had one before, but it was very much just a trim. This time she needs she needs to sit. Yeah.
I'd say TV screen.
Yeah.
A lot of these places, I take my kids to a kid's hairdresser.
Yeah, the ones that have a car.
Yeah. Otherwise, it was just too traumatic. So I pay extra for it, but it just makes my life easier. They've each got a TV screen. They have snacks there.
Do you do it at the same time?
No. I take them all with me, but they don't all have the haircut on the same day.
Imagine, like,
it's just too much for my life. I'm like,
still.
I know it's more annoying to come back another day, but it makes me less stressed. So, but I would say snacks and a screen. And
that's what I'll go with. I'll let you know. I'll message you and be like, is it working?
You were wrong. Yeah, she's got half a haircut. Well, that's the thing. When they get through half the hair and they're like, right, I'm done. You're like, no.
It's the fringe. She has such a like blunt fringe. I'm like, just sit still for the fringe. I don't even mind the back.
And that's annoying because you have to have a fringe cut quite often, don't you?
Yeah. I have done it a few times.
Okay. That's scary.
Yeah, with kitchen scissors as well. Not even with like...
I feel like a fringe, can you go too wrong? Or...
Yeah, well, I always think that. And then I end up taking off a bit too much and Charlie's...
Well, because you're like, I need to fix it. Oh, I need to fix it more. And then it's going higher and higher and higher.
Yeah, and then she's getting impatient. So I just thought, no, do you know what? We're going to go to a proper hairdresser's.
Yeah. Then she'll end up thinking, that was so fun.
Yeah, and she'll think she's like grown up. It's the thing she keeps on saying to me. She's like, when we go to the hair, she calls it a hair salon. Don't know where she's got that from, but she's like, when we go to the hair salon, they're going to give me yellow hair. She does have yellow hair, thank goodness.
Okay.
Well, blonde. No one really wants yellow hair, but she does. And she's like, it's magic. They can give me yellow hair. And I'm like,
then when she leaves, you must just be like, oh, look at your hair.
Yeah.
Oh, bless her. Well, mine was I'd say it's exciting, but it's a lot more admin-y. I am desperate to organise a mum's night away, but you know what it's like? There's 8 of us in this WhatsApp group.
8 of us. 8 of you is just...
To trying to get all of us at the same time. I think we're looking at October, and it's February right now. But equally, I'm like, that's okay. We'll have something in the diary. But it's impossible, isn't it, to get people together when you've all got kids and honestly, you all live in different places.
With our group chat, it's like there'll always be... Say if there's 5 of us, there'll always be 4 or 3. And it just like...
Actually, that's okay. You can't make everyone happy every time.
No,
it's going to be an epic trip. So I'm like, guys, you're going to want to come. And because I'm organising it, it has to be when I'm free. Yeah. That's the way we're going. Anyway, we could talk about WhatsApps for ages, but I wanted to go all the way back. You started a business very young, didn't you? How old were you?
I was 18 when I started.
And did you think it was going to be a business, or you were just like, I'm going to start a hobby?
Nah. I was saying this to the taxi man on the way here. I was like, I didn't think I was starting a business at 18.
I don't think anyone does really at that age.
No, it was just like in the middle of lockdown. So I was bored. I was working at the supermarket and I was like, do you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to buy some tote bags from Amazon and I'm going to embroider on them.
Love that. Just to keep you busy. And then where did you sell them?
At first on Depop.
Okay.
So like I would literally just embroider like different pictures, different things. I remember my mum being
hand done, or you had a machine?
Hand done.
Wow.
I know. New skill unlocked.
So you just learnt it on as you went?
Yeah, as I went. I was like watching all these like different TikToks about like how to embroider things. So I was like, okay, I can embroider tote bags. That's like a plain piece of material.
Wow.
I remember they all arrived and my mum was like, oh, we're going to have quite a lot of bags, aren't we?
She didn't have faith that you're going to sell them all?
Oh, she didn't have the faith. Now she's like the most supportive human ever. Well, she was even back then, but just not for these 10 bags.
Also, you just think, this is my little baby. Why is she having a business?
Yeah, exactly. Oh. And she was probably just thinking like, I'm very like, I'll start a lot of hobbies. So at the time, she's just thinking, this is another one of Maisie's hobbies that we're just going to support her through.
You were just trying everything to see what was the best for you.
Exactly. And then, luckily enough for me, the hobby just exploded. But
so did you have a following on Instagram?
No.
By that, so how were people aware that it was even there?
So I literally had no following. Didn't even have like a Maisie Crompton page.
Okay.
Or anything like that. I just started a TikTok and I was like, follow me creating this business.
I love that.
Yeah, and it would just be like me embroidering. And then I'd show like a few weeks later, I'd show like me creating the web page, me creating the name.
Oh, so you brought everyone on the journey with you.
Yeah.
You were a bit ahead of the curve there because people are doing that a lot now.
That's what everyone says to do.
18-year-old, you knew it.
I know, on all these business podcasts, that's what they say to do. I'm like, oh.
Founder-led.
I was on it before.
Yeah,
it was even a thing.
Oh my God, amazing.
I think that was natural for me. I would say before that, I was doing like YouTube at like 12.
Were you?
Like I said to my mum the other day, I was like, you know that day when I was sick? Well, what I actually did was I was at the house and whilst you were downstairs working, I was in your bedroom with your makeup pretending like...
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I was this social media person because I just loved it.
That's so clever.
Yeah,
so
and I
you
still
just
love
knew
it.
from a young age, you're like, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to be on the camera.
Yeah, I knew in my head that was what I wanted to do, but I never said it out loud because I thought that's so ridiculous. Like, that's not going to happen. Like, and I always remember thinking, like, I've just got to make it happen so no one can, like, say.
Yeah.
Because throughout school and everything, I was like, no, I'll get the good grades. I'll do this, I'll do that. And then when it came to like going to uni, I was like, I don't want to go to uni. But how am I going to tell my mum that like I did politics, sociology and photography and I got like really good grades? I was like, how am I going to tell my mum that actually, even though I could get into these good unis, I don't want to go?
Yeah.
So I took a gap year, which I was meant to go travelling, but then obviously COVID happened.
Oh, that's such an unfortunate. I always
Yeah.
felt most sorry for people who had just finished school and COVID.
So I was like, okay, well, I'll use this gap year and I'll just prove to her I don't need to go to uni. I can do something different. And luckily for me, it did actually work out because by the time I would have been going to uni, the business was successful enough that I'd quit the supermarket.
So they all believed like, okay, this is a thing.
Yeah.
Amazing. So then you ran it for a couple of years and then you had a little surprise pregnancy, didn't you? How old were you then?
I was 19 and I felt...
So it wasn't a couple of years.
No.
It was 1 year.
It was like, yeah. Well, I think I just turned 18.
Right.
So I just turned 18 when I started the business and I was a few months off turning 20 when I found out I was pregnant. So I'm like
nearly
2 years.
Let's say 2.
2 years, yeah. Into
oh my
this.
gosh, a curveball you were not expecting.
Yeah.
How did you think, oh, I might be pregnant? Like, what symptoms did you have to make you do the test?
Oh, like, you know, when you think back about everything and you're like, how did I I was kidding myself.
Oh,
you know, when you're just, I was terrified. So I remember like, you know, in your luteal phase, I said to my mum, oh, my boobs are really hurting, like so badly. I actually don't get that symptom normally.
Some people really do, where they have to wear different bras at that phase of their period, don't they?
But I just had never experienced them symptoms. So I said to my mum, oh, my boobs are really hurt. She's like, take ibuprofen, you'll be fine. She obviously didn't think anything about it. I didn't think anything about it either. Anyway, then I keep on Googling. We're at this point where my period's late. Keep Googling, can stress cause late periods?
Yes, it
can. This, can that?
Oh,
do you know what I mean? Like, just trying to find any reason. I think I must have been like a week delayed on my period. Bear in mind, my periods were never delayed.
Oh,
and
so
I
you
was
just knew.
I should probably find a pregnancy test and take it. But where I was so scared, I took it at like 11 p.m. at night on my own.
On your own?
Yeah, at my mum's house.
And had you been voicing your concerns to your boyfriend, like, I think I might need to do a test, or was this completely not on his radar?
I think I said to him, oh, my period's late. I don't think I think he was just like, oh yeah, her period's late.
Yeah.
Not like, oh yeah, she could be carrying our baby type thing.
I think especially, like, my husband doesn't really get periods at the age of 36, so age 19, it's not really something they think about, is it?
Yeah, like now, way into our relationship, he knows all the different stages, what they're all called. He could label it all.
That's exactly right.
Especially having a daughter, you're like, no, you need to know this.
Yeah, but 19.
Back then, fair enough for not knowing.
Yeah.
So I remember I took the test and I just like burst out crying. It was like so positive. Like there was no
so
denying this test.
Sometimes it's like, I'm not sure, and other times you're like, I'm really pregnant.
Yeah.
Oh God.
And so I messaged Charlie.
You didn't tell your mum?
No, I didn't tell my mum. I was too scared because I thought, oh my God,
I've
probably disappointed her or whatever. And also, I really wanted, even back then, to work out myself what I wanted to do before I went to her.
Yeah.
Because I just thought, I'll get clarity and then I can just explain to her what I want to do. So I went to Charlie on message at 11 p.m. at night and I'm like, I'm pregnant.
You just text him?
Yeah, I did just text him. I didn't like call or anything.
Oh no.
He's like, you're pranking me. I was like, no, unfortunately, actually not pranking you.
Oh my God.
Weird prank to make.
Yeah, a bit of an unfair prank.
But I think he was so shocked. He was like, this can't be true. Anyway, the next morning I went to his house. I stayed there for like 3 days and we didn't tell anyone. And we were just like talking it through. We were like, okay, well, I was like, my main concern was all about money. It wasn't actually about whether we could take care of a child. It was like, okay, but like, where are we going to live? And like all the logistics. So once we kind of like made a little plan in our head, we were like, okay, well, we probably do need to tell people. So the first people we actually told was my in-laws.
Okay.
Yeah, and the way we did that was we had to go and pick them up from a friend's house late. It was about 1 a.m. or something
really
like
late.
that, really late. And they'd had a few drinks and like, so we thought, well, there's no better time really. So Charlie said to them, my partner, he said, can you sit on the couch for us? And they're like, oh, like at that point, my heart was just sinking.
It's scary telling people when you're like
when you're
wanting
excited
and planning this pregnancy, but God,
Yeah.
I can't imagine.
So then Charlie's like, just to let you know, Maisie's pregnant. I burst out into tears, just of like, I don't even know, like you just have so much adrenaline.
Yeah.
And you're just like, oh my God.
Also hearing it said out loud, because so far it's been you saying it, but hearing it, oh gosh,
I'm like, this
so
is
many
so
emotions.
real. And they couldn't be nicer.
Aww.
I mean, they are just the nicest people, but they were like asking me if I was okay.
Oh, that makes me emotional now.
I know.
That's so sweet.
One of the first things she said to me was, are you taking folic acid?
Oh,
I was like,
what an angel.
It's like, what's folic acid? Like,
Oh my
now
God,
I know,
yeah,
but like
I bet
back
you
then,
had to Google
I was
everything.
like, I don't even know. But they were like, look, you can come and live at our house, which we did end up doing. And they were like, basically just reassured us that everything was going to be okay. Then I obviously knew that I had to go back and tell my mum. But I was more scared to tell my mum than I was to them. I think you're just always worried about.
Yeah. Like you want your mum to be on your side.
Yeah.
And it's like, God, I hope she's going to support me.
And then as soon as I told her, she was like, absolutely fine as well. She was like,
Aww.
like, this is amazing. Like, do you want to keep the pregnancy? And I was like, yeah, I really want to keep the pregnancy, but I'm worried about money. And she was like, Maisie, there are other people in the world that have a child and have less money than you. Like, it's not, she's like, a child isn't really that expensive.
Yeah, not for the first few months, but
he's like, nappies aren't too bad. I'm like, no, but now we're into like,
oh yeah,
it gets expensive.
But that's really nice that she said that at that point, because
that's what I needed.
Yeah,
and she knew, like, yes, we were 19, 20 at that point, but we were going to become adults that would have more money, so we'd be fine.
So true. That couldn't have gone better then, really.
Yeah.
And then for the rest of the pregnancy, you then lived at his parents' house.
I moved into his parents' house at 27 weeks.
Okay.
So I actually lived at my mum's, but basically we would always be with each other, just like between the houses.
Yeah.
So I was still running the business because I ran that from mum's house, and then I'd be at his parents' house. And then 27 weeks, basically, my in-laws, they moved out of their bedroom so that we could have their bedroom, because their bedroom had an ensuite and the rest of the bedrooms didn't. Yeah, and they knocked through a wall so that she could have a nursery attached to our bedroom.
How special.
And we painted it all pink. And do you know what? Like, for all of the horror stories I've heard, like, about people having young pregnancies. No, they were so supportive. We had, like, gender reveals. We had baby showers. Like, it was just the best experience.
Oh, I love that. And was pregnancy kind to you? Were you sick?
Oh, I was sick until, like, 22 weeks.
Ugh.
And, like, actually sick. Not even
That's
just
tough.
nauseous. But at the time, you just keep on thinking, well, you think, get to 12 weeks. Everyone says it stops at
Then the
12
glow
weeks.
happens.
Yeah. And then I was like, it's not stopping.
Oh,
and I remember it was about 22 weeks and we were like on a UK staycation. I was like, I'm still being sick. But looking back, I probably should have just gone to the doctors and got some anti-sickness. But I don't think I really knew that it was
Well, I don't think people
available.
really knew till very recently that there is help available when you're being sick.
Yeah.
Because even in my first two pregnancies, I had no idea that you could get help. And also, I was too scared to even take like paracetamol, let alone anything else. But that is rough. Were you continuing to run the business? Was it still growing?
It was still growing. It was still doing really well at that point. And then I'd also started my other social media page because I was like, right, well, I'm pregnant. So, like, I've got loads to talk about.
Yeah.
So that's when I started growing, like, my Maisie Crompton page on the side, because I was like, I can't really talk about pregnancy on my business page. But I wanted to talk about pregnancy because I feel like it's so exciting.
And also anyone else who perhaps got pregnant young would find so much comfort in following someone like you talking about it.
And I didn't really have, like, anybody else around me other than one friend who was pregnant, or, like, I didn't really have mum friends at that point. So that was, like, my outlet to talk to other mums.
I love that. And I feel like a lot of people do start Instagram in motherhood because they're bored on maternity leave, or they need some sort of consistency with their weeks. Every day I'm going to film this video or whatever. And you make so many friends that way. I mean, there is a lot of downside, and people talk about that a lot, about being trolled and judged and things like that. But there are so many positives from
Yeah.
social media if you choose to find them. Did you get a lot of trolling, judging for being so young pregnant?
Oh, it's so long ago now that I've probably blocked it out. I can't
Or
really
maybe you just
remember.
didn't.
No, I definitely would have got some comments, but I can't. It doesn't really stick in my mind.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah, I think it obviously got a lot of attention. The reason why people loved watching my videos was like, wait, there's this like girl that's got
Have you
pregnant
heard?
at 19. I got a lot of stick for living at my in-laws. I did get a lot
Why?
of that because people are like, if you're having a kid, you should move out, blah, blah, blah. But like in our head, I was like, yeah, but we're saving for a house. They'd
Yeah.
rather us save for a house than move out
People
somewhere.
are so funny, aren't they? To pick
Yeah.
that apart. If that's all they're saying, then great.
But also like my in-laws love that. They got like all of Elsie's first year
yeah, so special.
at their house. Yeah.
So you lived there till she was 1?
Till she was 1, and then it got to the point where like she had so much stuff, we had so much stuff. I was like, actually, we need a bit of space. So we did go and rent somewhere for a little bit, and then we bought our house last year, like literally a year ago.
Okay.
So
Yeah, kids have a lot of stuff.
they do.
For being such little people, they bring a lot of things with
Now
them.
we have like our own house. We have like a whole playroom for her, her
It's mad,
bedroom,
isn't
and
it?
I'm like, how did we actually ever cope? But
Well, you just
there we
fill
go.
the space you have, don't you? So you're like, oh, we've got a playroom. What shall we put in it? Oh, that's amazing. And you also travelled a lot with her, didn't you?
Oh, to be fair, we also got a lot of we did get a lot of stick for that.
Did you?
Yeah, when we went to Australia, that was when we got a lot of lovely comments as well. So I think when you get a lot of lovely comments, you're also going to get some more negative ones. But they never bothered me because I'm like,
I'm here in Australia
Yeah.
living my best life.
I'm loving my life, so
Yeah.
I'm fine. You guys
Yeah.
can think what you want to
But
think.
what were they saying? You shouldn't have
They
taken
were
her.
saying like, kids need routine.
Oh, please.
Blah, blah, blah. And
How
it's
old was
like-
she?
She was like 5 months.
Yeah, that's ridiculous.
Yeah, and she's just attached to me anyway.
Yeah. I actually always say to people, go on planes with your kids when they are under a year, because it doesn't matter when they nap.
Yeah.
They can nap in buggies, nap in the carrier and stuff. It's actually the best time. And they don't cost anything on
Yeah,
flight.
go away when they can't even crawl.
Yeah.
Is what I'm thinking. And to be fair, she couldn't crawl at 5 months. So we were living our best life. Like the flight to Australia is so long. It's
Oh my God.
like 7 hours to Dubai, 14 hours from Dubai to Sydney.
I'd say 5 months is probably the best time. 5 months, or wait till they're like 4 or 5 years old.
And you can entertain them with like
And they understand.
screens.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That is a long way. But did you stay there for a long time when you got there?
Yeah, we stayed there for just under 3 months.
Amazing.
Yeah, I think it was like 90 days you could go for on this certain visa.
see.
So we went for like
But what
80
special
something.
memories that you've done that with
Yeah.
her?
It was the best time. I'm already planning like when I want to go back to Australia because I
Are
love it
you?
so much. I would move there if we didn't have such amazing family and friends.
I agree. If it wasn't a whole 24 hours away
Yeah.
and the time difference was so big, I would love to live there.
Yeah, because the lifestyle out there is so lovely. They love kids. Like the
Just
weather,
outdoorsy. Yeah, the weather.
everything about it was so nice. I mean, it's quite expensive too, but I feel like everywhere's expensive these days. So we had the best time. We like travelled along the East Coast.
Oh. And did you like plan the whole trip before you went, or did you just are you the kind of couple that see how you go when you get there?
No, I was planning it.
You're a
before-
type A mum.
Yeah, like
Love
I'm like very go with the flow within the realms of something.
Okay, within your comfort zone.
Yeah, go with the flow after we've done this one activity.
Okay.
Like kind of person. I was like, I'm going to have to plan every single Airbnb. We booked every
You just need
single
to make
flight.
sure it was like suitable for a baby, I guess, didn't you?
Yeah, and I was like, I don't want to get somewhere and not have accommodation to stay
Yeah.
because like it's not like we can just go to hostels and stuff. So I was very much plan it out, but in hindsight, it would have been easier to not be like that because there's a lot of times where you want to spend more time at one place, not spend.
Yeah, you
but
don't know until you get there, do you?
yeah, with a child, I just think let's plan.
Take away some of the uncertainty. I
Yeah.
think that's fair enough. And how are you in motherhood in that regard? Are you very plan everything to the nth degree, or a bit more go with the flow in terms of like a day with Elsie? Would you know exactly what you're doing all day long, or see what she feels like kind of vibes?
Do you know, I'm definitely not type A. Like people
Right.
always say to me, like you're quite like scatty in the way that you think, but I'm not really type B. As in, like I will get us to places on time.
Right.
I think I'm somewhere in the middle. Like I like the idea of having a plan. I'm just not very good at executing.
I think I'm the same as you. I think I want to be organised, but then when it comes down to it, it's like, oh, I missed the deadline to book that thing or whatever. And I also hate being late. But I think you have to accept with kids sometimes you just are. And it's like, she needed to go to the toilet as soon as we needed to leave. And so that's just what happens.
Yeah, it is just one of those things, like, I wish I was type A, like, so badly. Because I think, like, they must live in, like, a lot more peace than I do.
But their brains just must be wired different, because I just can't imagine when people are like, someone said to me the other day, so what camps are your kids doing in the summer holidays? I'm like, so excuse me, it hasn't even been the Easter holidays yet. Why are we talking about summer?
And you know, like, all of the nap sort of thing. Like, when kids would take naps, I was never strict with that. She could sleep wherever. She never even slept in her cot because she hated her cot.
And is she a good sleeper? Like, obviously there's no good or bad sleepers, but has she given you an easy ride in that sense?
She was, like, up until, like, 6 months, she was the most amazing sleeper, would sleep through the night. People always say to me, like, other mum friends that I've now met, they were like, Maisie, I literally hated you because you were like, my child is sleeping through the night.
It's really hard to hear that when your child isn't.
Yeah,
it's like,
and then
I'm so happy for you.
She obviously came to humble me, and she was like, no, actually, I'm not going to sleep. So she was quite bad between, like, 6 months and 2. Right. And then we got into, like, a better routine. Now she's quite a good sleeper. And she goes to bed very early.
I was going to say, I heard you say that she goes to bed at like 5:30 or something.
Yeah. And people, oh my goodness, people hate it.
Because they're jealous. My daughter, Darcy, is not even 2 and she does not go to sleep until after 8 o'clock.
Yeah.
I cannot get her to sleep.
When I saw that, you know, when people say to me, my kids can't get to sleep before 9 p.m, I think, poor you, because...
Yeah, it's so annoying because I get out of her room and I'm like... So I'm just going to go to bed in a minute because I'm so tired.
Yeah.
But I've had to learn just to eat my dinner before I put her to bed and, you know, we're figuring it out. But
like, with the 5:30 bedtime, it confuses people because they're only picking their kids up from nursery.
So true.
At 5:30. So they're just confused about the logistics.
Yeah. But did you just figure out that she just needs more sleep and she's knackered? Let's just see how it goes.
So because all them years, we were trying to do the bedtime 7:30. Everyone tells you that's a good bedtime. I don't know. I'll go with it. Yeah. 7:30, 7 o'clock. And then I just noticed she was so tired and, like, she was, like, being very reactive. She was crying at everything and she is a pretty easy kid as it goes. And I was thinking, like, oh, she's just so tired. And I remember my mum saying, well, I would put you guys to sleep at 6 p.m. every night. Like, why don't you try that? And I remember we tried it and I was like, this is revolutionary.
And then she slept through until when in the morning?
Until, like, 6:30, 7.
Amazing. So she just needs more sleep. Some kids are just higher sleep needs, aren't they?
Yeah, and she never had naps, really, because she stopped all her naps at about 17 months.
Interesting.
So she obviously needed to make up the sleep overnight.
Because we might be in this category, because Darcy loves to nap in the day, but then she won't go to sleep till whatever at night. And I'm like, maybe you should just drop the nap and then bring her bedtime earlier.
Also, what I think, like, is a short nap isn't really worth it for a parent, is it? What are you going to get done in a short nap? It's no benefit to you.
No, especially when it's the third, because I got the other two being like, right, great, now you're on for me. Yeah. But it's more that, like, she'll fall asleep in the car or something. And then I've got my Instagram is just divided. Half of them are like, she needs more sleep, that's not enough. And the other half are like, drop the nap. Who knows? There's just no rule book when it comes to their kids, is it? And
it's such different temperaments, because some kids might just need less sleep.
Yeah.
But for me, I was like, having that evening.
Oh, so great.
Like, for us to just be us.
And work. Like, a lot of us have to work in the evenings. Yeah. That's our time. If you're with her all day, you're like, I need to catch up.
Yeah, and I like the predictability. Like, okay, I know I can be a patient, lovely parent until 6 o'clock.
Yeah, and
then you're in bed and I can de-stress.
Yeah.
Whereas I think what was really hard when she was not a great sleeper was, like, I didn't know how long I had to continue being patient for. And it's like, when it's getting to 9 p.m, you then start thinking, no, at this point I want to shout and be like, please go to sleep.
Yeah, and I find myself doing that because you're right. Yeah. You've just used up all your patience all day and you're like, I'm going to snap in a minute. I've had enough.
Also, you've got 3. That's like 3 different voices coming at you.
Maisie, it's chaos. It's utter chaos. And sometimes I just have to sit still and be like, I'm just listening to them all shouting at me. I just have to breathe for a second. But it's interesting because my boys are asleep way earlier than she is and would love to nap still. They're just all different. You just got to learn what works for you.
The ideal would be that they all went to sleep at the exact same time.
Oh my God, imagine.
And then they all slept through.
Oh, shut all the doors at 7, see you in the morning and not a minute before.
One day they will do that. When they're like teenagers, you'll be like...
I know, people do keep saying to me, one day you'll find it really sad because they'll take themselves off to bed. I'm like, when is that day? Because it's not now.
I'm always like, when is that day? But also, then I feel sad that it's coming up.
I know.
Like, before we know it.
Because I read a quote, when I say read, I saw it on an Instagram reel, saying you will know your kids as kids for the shortest amount of time.
Yeah.
The time you'll know them for the most time is as an adult. Yeah. And that makes me really sad because it's like, oh my gosh, this is the hardest time of our lives, looking after children. But it's the smallest time too.
Yeah, and it's the time that shapes them the most.
God,
I always think, like, as soon as, like, because Elsie's only 3, as soon as she goes to school, she's got other people influencing her, like friends that she will think is their opinion is more cool than mine.
That's actually I found that really hard. My eldest is in year 1 now, so last year in reception, all the way up until reception, favourite colour pink. He loved pink. Day 1, he comes home, doesn't even want a pink spoon. Pink is for girls. I can't have pink. Whoever told him that, I'm just like, oh God. Yeah. And he is a real people pleaser, which he's got from me. And I can see it in everything he does. He so badly wants to be liked by everybody. And it's exhausting. And he's August baby, so he's the youngest in the year. And I could just see in reception, he was really tired. And it's because he was trying to be the best and everyone's friend and everything. Whereas my middle couldn't care less about other people's opinions.
They always say that, don't they?
I think it's so lovely. And he goes to school in September and I'm just wondering whether he'll hang on to that because he loves diggers and trains and tractors, but he also adores glitter, mermaids, Strictly, loves it all. So I'm like, I just really would be so sad if he lost that bit. But you have to let go of control a bit.
It is weird because I'm a people pleaser too. So I'm like, I don't want Elsie to be a people pleaser. Do you know what I mean?
Same.
Because you're like, you know how you've lived. And I'm like, oh, I wish she could just stand up for herself a bit more.
Be her, I know.
And then when they go to school, like even she'll come home from nursery and she'll say certain things. And I'm like, oh.
I know. And you're like, I didn't teach you that. Where have you learned that? And because you're used to up until now being with them all the time and everything they've learned is from you. And then suddenly, but it's also amazing to see, like my eldest the other day said something and both me and my husband were like, how do you know that? And he's like, oh, just know it, just learnt it. And it's like, it's amazing to see them grow and learn things. But it is a transition. It's a real transition.
Do you know what I think is lovely? You know, when you watch them play, and Elsie loves playing mummies and daddies. So she will say things that I know that I say all the time. And I'm like, oh, it must be rubbing off.
That's it.
She'll be like, okay, baby, well, mummy always comes back. I'm like, oh, that is literally what I say to her every drop-off because I'm like, I just want her to know that I'm coming back. She struggled with the nursery drop-off to begin with. Now she's fine. But I was like, you just see your parenting come out in little ways.
And you know that, like, whatever I'm doing is working. And I know some days feel hard, but just power through because the parenting that you know is the right for your child is working.
Yeah.
But some days it's hard to see, but that's
sometimes
so
you do doubt yourself. Like sometimes she'll be a little menace and Charlie will be like, this is our parenting.
I know. And you think, have we ruined it? But like years ago, have we made a mistake and now it's too late? But also on social media, I know you're the same as me and try to be really honest about everything, but we can't share every second of every day.
No.
And I never would film my children having a tantrum or anything like that. I talk about it because I think it's fair to say it, but to look at, it looks like my family is perfect and you know, the kids always play nicely because that is the stuff I share because it's a nice thing to take a picture of. But so you can look on social media and just think, God, everyone else has got it so sorted and why am I the only one struggling? And that's really hard to compare it. And even, you know, other mums at school and stuff.
I always say to people, just don't compare.
Never.
Because like what I'm sharing, yes, I'm trying to share part of the reality, but also I can only share so much.
Yeah.
So like you're not getting the full picture of anything, really.
Never.
You're not getting the full picture of like the loveliest moments and you're not getting the full picture of the hardest moments. And it's just one of those things, isn't it? But it is so hard because you do watch other people and you think, oh my goodness, their kids have done X, Y and Z. Their kids can write their name already and like
exactly
you just get into this hole and I think you have to like step back and be like, actually it's okay.
It's when I had 2 boys and they are so different from each other that I thought I can't even compare my children against each other because they're so different. So you absolutely can't compare someone else's parenting journey. And plus if their child is sleeping and yours isn't, then you're not going to have the same experience because you're tired and they're not tired. Like you just can't, but you can't help it, can you?
Well, my mum, I remember her saying, like, I'm one of 3 and we're so different. Like,
are you?
polar opposite.
Boys and girls?
I've got 2 younger brothers.
Okay.
So they're like, but even in their personality ways, like they're so different between themselves, but also like we're just so different. And I think birth order has a massive part
Oh
to
my
play.
God, I really
I'm
think
like
that.
obsessed with birth order. But, and like, I always do think the middle child ends up a little bit crazier.
Not in my family. As
Really?
in my kids, my middle is chill. He is so chill. He's like horizontal.
That's good
so
though,
interesting.
because I was thinking like when I had my second, I was thinking, am I going to be like,
I mean, it's
never
obviously
know.
as a baby, like when he was 1, he was like a maniac, like climbing shelving units, like physically a bit unstoppable, but so chill in temperament. And now he often gets that as a disadvantage because it's much easier to meet the other 2 needs first because they're going to kick off and be like, would you mind just giving that to them? And he's like, okay. So I feel bad because I use that against him, but to help me. But he's very chill. But you're right, birth order he's better at sharing. My eldest is not that good. I mean, he's getting there. He's 5 now, but he found sharing very hard because he's always had everything. And then suddenly a younger brother comes along and he's like,
that's so true.
Hang on. Whereas the younger 2 only share. They've never not had to share.
That's all they've known.
Exactly.
And all they've ever known is to share you. Whereas the first one gets like that part of you for so long.
And he was born in COVID. So we were literally like every night we both read him a story. And then my third, she got to about 6 months. I'm like, I don't think we've read her a story. I don't think she knows what a book is. And it's like, it works in a good ways too. Like we went to the cinema this weekend and she came to the cinema and I'm like, none of the kids would have come to the cinema before they were 2, but she gets to come along because of the others. So there's good things as well. But I definitely think birth order has something to do with it because you're the eldest, I'm the eldest, and every eldest child I speak to always is a people pleaser, gets anxious, has a similar sort of personality traits. And I think it's because you're sort of like in charge of the younger siblings, or I don't know.
Well, growing up, all of my friends were the eldest siblings.
Interesting.
Yeah, which I do
gravitate towards them.
Yeah, naturally. And I honestly have. Most of my friends are the eldest sibling. So it is really interesting. I wonder if like, I don't know, there's something behind that, but we'll never know. Maybe
we'll never know. Well, weirdly, with my 3, all of their godparents, all my eldest godparents are eldest children. All my second godparents are second children. And it wasn't till we stood back and like wrote them all down and we were like, oh my God, that's how it's worked out.
And they always say that like most eldest children end up with a partner that isn't the eldest child. Does that make sense?
Not for me. But
not for you.
For me, we're both eldest.
For you.
We're both eldest. Everything you say, I'm like, no, not my family.
Like, I'm cancelling what you've always thought.
My family is the anomaly. Me and George, my husband, we're both eldest, but he doesn't fit the rules in that sense. He's not a people pleaser. He's like not any of these things.
Yeah, because you do need the opposite.
Maybe it's because he's a boy. Don't know.
Yeah,
I don't know.
I do find that I need I like that me and Charlie are opposite. Like he's more go with the flow than I am. He's more relaxed.
It works well in parenting when you both have a slightly different angle because if one of you's struggling on something, the other one can swoop in and take over a bit. Does he help you with your business or is that's completely separate?
Yes, he has worked with me on Totes For Youu for like well over a year.
Has he?
Yeah.
As a full-time?
Yeah, full-time.
Both of you do it full-time?
Full-time.
Amazing.
He does like all the logistics.
Okay.
Sometimes I do explain it as he basically does all the parts where I was like, nah, I don't want to do this anymore.
Right.
Yeah.
So all the like behind the camera things.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
All like, I don't want to be ringing the post office and doing all of that. Like all them different stuff, like packing of the orders, like he's in charge. So like when there's a massive flow of orders and like we're doing a launch or something, he's telling everyone what to do.
Okay, great.
Because we also have all my family help us pack the
I love
orders.
that you do that together. Yeah. I watched a video and it's like, it's a real like family business.
Thing.
I love that.
But I don't want to be the one like bossing everyone about because then I feel like I do fall into that oldest child of like being bossy.
You just do what you're told on that day.
Yeah.
That's great.
And yeah, he does all of like emails, stuff like that.
Okay.
That's him. For me, it's like designing, social media, that sort of stuff. All the stuff that's like front of house.
Yeah.
All the stuff that you can imagine is quite fun.
Great. I'd be the same as you. That's what I want to do.
Yeah.
And so do you find that it's really good working together because actually you have such clear roles?
Yeah. I don't get involved in his much. He does try and get involved in the design, and I tell him, babe, that ain't gonna sell.
Your bags are so great.
Thank you.
I mean, they're not meant to be like nappy bags, are they? But they have been used like that.
Yeah, well, I remember the first one that like really, really took off, like the first leather one that we did.
Yeah.
I wanted a handbag that looked lovely. It looked like a handbag, but was so practical. Like the same amount of practicalness as all of the changing bags that you can find
Which
on
are
the
really
market.
ugly and look like bags to hang on a buggy, don't they?
Yeah. So I was like, okay, let's create this. And he was actually the one that found the supplier. So that in that way, it's like,
well done him.
we'll give him the credit there. And I remember the first launch we did of that one was crazy. Like we just sold out, and I couldn't believe it as well because they were more expensive than any bags we've done before, etc.
Do you always do it like that? So it's always a pre-order?
We do it. Most of the time we do it in drops.
Right.
So we will have stock to drop, and then when that sells out, we'll do a pre-order.
Okay.
But recently I've kind of gone off the pre-order thing because the last time we did a pre-order, it wasn't ideal because the stock got delayed. By like
some
2
people
weeks.
are like, I understand I've pre-ordered, but I don't want to wait 5 months for the bag. And it's like, well, that's the whole idea.
Yeah, exactly. And I feel like the maximum, well, you can make people wait however long, but like for me, I felt like the maximum I could make people wait was like 8 weeks.
Yeah.
And then when it was like a week delayed, I was like, and I don't want the pressure on myself. So now, because we have the space we just try and order more stock.
Right.
So like,
and do you store it in your house?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. It's a lot. We are actually looking at getting a unit now because it's
getting too big.
Yeah, like the whole, like at Christmas, the whole spare room full to the brim.
Wow.
The whole of like any outside storage full.
You need a unit.
Yeah.
It's doing well enough. You need a unit.
And also like, we were just, I know this is so petty, but we were like marking the walls.
Not petty at all. You've got a new house.
I know. I was like, Charlie, every time I look in our house when we haven't got stock, there's marks, and I'm just like, that's unavoidable because of what we're doing. But as soon as we've got a unit, I'm planning to paint it, like the kitchen, because I just want a fresh lick of paint. But yeah, we do it all from home. Family help us. We've always had it that way. We've never had anyone external.
And is this a plan to keep it quite family run?
Yeah, I love it. Aww. Like even like our models. One of our models is my best friend that I made when I was like 7.
Love that.
Yeah, and one of my models is my sister-in-law. So I love it. And then when we do packing, it will be like Charlie's family and my family. And I like it. When they first started helping, like when my mum first started helping, I didn't pay her. Because everyone always asks me, now, do I pay them? I'm like, of course I pay them now. But when we first started, Mum was just doing it for fun.
Yeah, because you're her daughter and she wants to be part of it. That's really special. And does Elsie get involved? Does she know what's going on?
If you ask her what we do for a job, she says, Daddy sends parcels, and she says, Mummy makes bags.
Okay.
I feel like that pretty much sums it up enough for a 3-year-old. And yeah, no, to be honest, we have to get the childcare when we have.
I was going to say, because actually, that's just another thing to look out for.
Because I don't want to be like shouting at her. No. Like she did come back the other day. She'd been at my in-laws, then she came back like just at the end point, and she was trying to be really helpful, but it wasn't very helpful.
Not helpful, yeah.
Yeah, but I love her for trying to help.
Yeah, bless her. And then Charlie is the most supportive partner in so many ways. Yeah. I've heard him in the background of some of your like clothing try-on videos, and he's just so sweet.
He is
so supportive.
Yeah, he's the most supportive person, like even of other people. Like all my friends always say, like, Charlie's so supportive. Like he'll know what everyone's doing. Like he'll know that like someone has a podcast and he's like, oh, that did really well, that episode. Or yeah, he just is. It's so nice to have a partner that's like that, especially in this industry, because I think it's so hard to understand it. And I think it does obviously help that we work together, because a lot of my friends, they have partners that like go out of the house.
Yeah.
And they have
but also
to
this whole thing has grown whilst you've been with him.
Yeah.
So he's seen it evolve, and that's probably helped a lot, because he hasn't just met you gone, oh my God, this world is crazy, because it is a crazy, crazy world. But the fact that he's sort of not on camera, but everyone still knows about him, I think is such a lovely, lovely touch, because in the background you're trying on clothes and he's like But he's just not only going, that looks nice. Yeah, that looks nice. He's like really commenting on the style, the fit, the everything. And I just love it. So I think my husband is too scared to comment on clothes. He's like, have you already bought it? Do you want to wear it? I'm like, I want you to tell me what you think. He's like, yeah, I don't know.
I remember one time I had to post a moment where he was like, no, Maisie, absolutely not. Because everyone was like, he just says he loves everything. And I was like, no, but I'm just not showing you the moments. Because he's like, don't show that, Maisie. Like, don't show me telling you that it's awful.
Yeah, but then he's being honest.
Yeah, exactly. So in the same way that he's so supportive, and I think we have just grown up together. Like, it's amazing that we've got to grow up together and, like, be able to do everything together, like the parenting, the business. Like, he really gets how parenting is as well, because he's there all the time. I remember before he quit his job, I'll be like, oh, it's actually really hard. And he'd be like, I think it's actually quite easy to stay at home with a baby, because he was like out all day.
No.
As soon as he quit that job, he was like, oh.
I think being a stay-at-home parent is harder than any job I've ever done. Like, I applaud stay-at-home parents, because it's so exhausting, because you don't get a lunch break, you don't get to go to the toilet by yourself most of the time. It's really full on. So I think until you experience it, you don't quite realise.
And we kept her at home till she was 2.
Okay.
So we did we had no childcare because our parents were working. We were just tag teaming and working. Now, in reflection, I probably would just put her in, like...
So does she go to nursery now?
Yeah, she goes to nursery now and she loves it. She only goes like a few days a week, and I feel like that's the perfect balance for us, because with this job, like, the best thing about it is that it's flexible.
Yeah.
So we can do that. And also, like, I'm so aware that very soon she'll go to school. Well, not very soon. She's actually a September baby.
Okay.
So she's like...
She's got an extra year.
She's got an extra year, which I love.
But the school day is very short.
It's so... Well, at the moment, she only really goes for the school hours.
Oh, okay. So you're not going to be so shocked.
So I'm not going to be shocked.
Oh, my God. All the parents at the school gates, oh, my God, I miss my child so much. And I was like, they're just doing a half day.
It goes within a flash.
Yeah.
Like, it is so quick, but we obviously have to do the half day if we want to do the 5:30 bedtime.
Oh, so true. Yeah, she wouldn't be home. You wouldn't see her.
Yeah, otherwise she'd fall asleep in the car, and then we'd be like,
true.
Haven't seen our child all day.
But you've managed to make it work for you. And I think that's the most important thing, that every family unit has to figure out, like, what the balance is, financially, emotionally, like what kind of thing, how you want your parenting to be. But you seem to have got it in a way that really works for you guys right now.
And it's like, it's always a juggle. It's always a balance.
And I don't feel like you really can get a good balance. It's just each week looks different, doesn't it?
Yeah. Like, some weeks I feel like I'm smashing it, I'm balancing it great. Other weeks I think, what am I doing? Like, you literally, and that is the way it is. And what I always say to people is, like, just try and be 100% in one thing. So, like, right now, I'll try to be 100% in work, not try and think about anything else. But when I'm with her, I'll try to be 100% with her and not think about work. Now, in reality, you're always going to have things in the back of your mind. But I think putting it like that, instead of, like, trying to split yourself all the time,
I agree
helps.
with you. Yeah. And I think, like you said, in reality, it's harder to implement that. But it's impossible to do both things well. If you're trying to do both things at the same time, you're going to feel like you haven't done anything very well.
Yeah.
So for me, it's about, okay, on Fridays, I do not have childcare. That is my kids' day. And I'm like, I try really hard not to work until the evening. But it is harder said than done. Harder done than said?
No, I think it is harder said than done.
No, it's easier said than done.
Oh.
It's easier said than done.
I'm the worst with them. You know them little catchphrases that people have? Oh.
Clearly so am I.
I'll say the wrong thing.
Right. We got right to the end, but I could just keep going and going and chatting to you.
It's always
so
the way.
Lovely. So I would love you to write on one of these Post-it notes something that you might leave on a fridge of a mum. So maybe you've been at a play date and you were leaving and you thought, I want her to come in and read this afterwards. Anything you like.
Okay.
Advice, something funny.
There we go. Do I need to read it out?
Yeah, what have you written?
Oh, I've written, you're doing better than you think.
Oh.
Because I feel like all mums need to know that. I think we all question ourselves sometimes. And I actually think every single mum I know is amazing in their own way. And there's so many things you can take from different mums. And I do think we're all doing better than we think. I think we are the worst self-critics. And actually, the kids are fine. They're happy. They're healthy.
Totally. And I actually recently have decided to tell people more, and I think they're doing a good job.
Yeah.
A friend of mine just sent me a voice note yesterday to say, by the way, I've listened to a podcast episode of yours and I just think it was really great. And I was like, it took you 2 seconds to send that, but it's absolutely changed my day. So I really think we do self-criticize. And I think if one person would just tell us that we're doing a good job every so often, it would make everything feel so much easier. So I love that, and that will help so many people. Thank you so much for coming and chatting to me.
Thanks for
I hope
having me.
you've enjoyed it.
It's been so much fun.
I think there's a lot that people can take from our chat, so I hope everyone loves it too.